What is up everyone, welcome back to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. So welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing Predator: Killer of Killers. In 3 unique historical timelines, the Predator stalks and attacks its prey, seeking who is truly worthy of becoming the Killer of Killers. So I can't believe I actually forgot that this movie was coming out. I remember seeing like a trailer or a bit of marketing back a couple of months ago, but I really thought that that was like a teaser trailer for like a 2026 movie. I really just didn't pay attention to the release day, but I'm glad we finally got it. This movie is directed by Trachtenberg, who also did Prey, which I was quite a big fan of. It was a movie that took the Predator franchise a step back and made it quite simplistic, setting it in a different historical timeline and just bringing it back to basics. The main character in a conflict with this alien creature, and that's all we really want to see with the Predator franchise. So I was quite excited to see what Trachtenberg was going to do with this particular film. Now it's told in an animated style, which at first I was kind of like, you know, whatever. But now after watching it, I can safely say that the animation style doesn't take away anything. Some of the visuals look stunning and the sound design is amazing. Now we get 3 individual historical timelines in this film. The first one being Vikings, the second one being samurai, and the third a World War II fighter pilot. Now these 3 timelines were all unique, but they all had their own essence to them. It was really interesting because we don't spend a whole lot of time with the characters. I think each story is about 20 minutes long, or roughly around that. So we're not spending an overly long time with these characters, but the time we do spend with them gives us enough to care about them and care about their situations. Now obviously there are going to be ones that you favor more than the others. That's my kind of issue with anthology movies, is there's always one that's not as good as the others, but then there's one that's way better than the others. However, for this movie, I think all 3 of them are quite solid. I myself personally choose the samurai one because, I mean, I'm biased. I love samurai movies. It's my favorite subgenre. So I was obviously going to pick that one. But also the visuals of the Viking one, there's this really great like one take, or like they animate it to be this one long take, and it's crazy, it's violent, there's a lot of action going on. But then the World War II fighter pilot one was crazy as well, and that had some stunning visuals. And that one probably had the most character to it, but I really like what they do with the characters. They're all connected by not only being hunted and fighting a predator, but their each unique story kind of resembles each other. But like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the choice making it an animated film, but I've never been so wrong in my life. I mean, it's this nice like comic book cel-shaded animation, but there's still like a lot of emotion going on. But then you have like these painted looking backgrounds that just really, they visually stand out, they pop, they're colorful, they're vibrant, and at times it's kind of better than live action because you can get the most pristine looking scenery while the predator's just like killing a whole bunch of dudes. So visually this movie hit the mark. But also, like I said, the sound design is fantastic. Specifically in the World War II section, the sounds of the planes going past, they just roar. Like if you have your speakers up, because this is a Disney Plus film, so if you're watching it at your home with great big surround sounds and massive Dolby Atmos speakers, then you're going to get the most pristine sound. Also, I really like how each individual story has a unique predator design. In the Viking one, because it's more blunt force and brutal, you have this massive predator. I mean, this guy is huge, like he is a tank, and he has this kind of like shield device where he kind of like punches it and it shoots like a shockwave sort of thing. It's a really cool design and it fits with the theme of that particular story. And then you have the samurai one, it's a more agile, more flexible ninja kind of predator. And then for the fighter pilot World War II one, you have like a pilot predator that's just like badass, sitting in his chair doing flips in his science fiction aircraft carrier. But even the design of him is pretty cool. That's probably the one that looks the closest to the predator in the original film, although he has like some metal gadgets in his face and stuff like that, some sci-fi tech going on. But in terms of like the actual face, it kind of looks similar to the original one. My only negative about the film is once you watch the first storyline and you remember the name of the movie being being called Killer of Killers, you kind of have a good idea of how every one of the stories is going to play out, and they generally kind of play out the same. So it kind of becomes a little bit predictable. But to be honest, that's only a really small issue. I really had a blast watching Predator Killer of Killers. Probably the most fun I've had watching a movie this year, which is crazy because usually I'm not a big fan of streaming service movies. I don't feel as engaged as I do when I'm at the theaters. But for some reason, just sitting down by myself with the surround sound cranked up, watching a Predator movie, it was fun, and it honestly took me back to when I was a kid watching the original Predator. So because it did that, I'm going to give Predator the Killer of Killers a 4-star. Honestly, if you have a subscription to Disney Plus, I highly recommend watching Predator of Predators, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. The franchise has had a couple of rough spots, mainly with the Predator from 2018 and Predators, even though I kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for that movie, although I can admit it's not a great film. But I feel like what Dan Trachtenberg is doing is definitely the right direction that this franchise needs, and I'm excited to see what else he does with this franchise. But anyway guys, that was my review of Predator Killer of Killers. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. So stay tuned, I'll see you guys next time.